Well, I told everyone I'd do a little gear dump for you, so that's exactly what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna go over everything that I've been running this 2021 season. I'll kind of swap it out between bow, gun, scouting, stuff I always take, stuff I sometimes take. But other than that, let's get into it. First and foremost, the one thing that I'm always taking, whether I'm early season scouting or I'm late season muzzleloader hunting, is the Bino harness, chest rig, whatever you want to call it. I'll show you what's in mine. I don't think I have anything that's not usually in here, besides for something I already have out here, but it's an Alaska Guide Creations. It's kind of partial to them back then. I know FHF's got a lot of nice ones too. I think Muley Freak or some other ones got some good ones, but I like this one. It's the Cub with the max pocket, so I think it's pretty much the biggest one you can get, but this is for the 10x40s. So I do run my Vortex 10x42 Diamondbacks in here. This is the Gen 1s because I'm cheap, but those work pretty good. I got the tethers for the harness on there right now. I don't usually run them, but if I'm scouting or in the canoe or the kayak, I definitely will, just in case things tip over or go south. But that's the optic in there. I don't actually usually run anything in the elastic up here. I have stuck my phone in there before, and I've gotten burned on it because it's almost too big and it gets kind of stuck in there, or it easily falls out. So I don't do that too much anymore either. Inside, it fits them pretty perfect. Get up there, they slide in. If I'm in the blind, I usually flip the lid. I don't know if they kind of advertise that oddly, but those, so they're hanging there off the side and I can easily just pull them in and out, set them in there. All right, getting into the nitty gritty little pockets. The reason I like this thing is because it's kind of a do-all, pack-all. I don't like to run a bunch of heavy stuff in here because it does get bulky fast, especially on the front of you. But let's start with the left side, your right side. But I always keep a magnesium fire starting block in here. I've never actually even tried to start a fire with this before, but I'm Eagle Scouting, I think I could probably figure it out, and I do always carry something steel with me, so I don't see that being an issue. I actually don't feel, oh, it is down here. I also always keep Milkweed wind checker. I used to run the little powder one, but like halfway through the nozzle I don't know, it just stopped functioning very well. And everyone uses Milkweed because it traces the wind a little bit better for longer periods of time. So I use Milkweed. I got it wrapped in a little bit of electrical tape just to hold the husk shut so it doesn't kind of spill all over in there. And then I always try to keep a roll of electrical tape. So married into my wife's family. My father-in-law is an electrician, and he turned me on to all of the thousands of uses for electrical tape. It works really good, from Band-Aids to fixing stuff. And the best part about it is it's waterproof, and it works really well in the cold still. So that's why I use that for just about everything instead of duct tape. Front pocket, I always keep my Outdoor Edge 3.5 inch. I don't have a blade in there because I just processed my deer last night. But this is the knife I run. It works really good. Actually, this is my first year of running it, and I got no complaints about it. The blade's dull a little bit faster than a nice hunting knife, but that's the entire point of it, because you just pull them out and put a brand new one in there. So I run that Outdoor Edge. I guess let me flip to the other pocket before I get into the front of that one, because I also carry the Outdoor Edge. It's just kind of like the cheapo one that they send in the combo pack, but I also carry their, I don't know if it's a 4, maybe a 5-inch saw. I use this a lot during archery for limbs and other things. And then usually, or hopefully, once or twice a year, I use it also to, I like to cut that pelvic bone when I'm gutting the animal out, just to make the rear end chore of that a little bit easier. That's just the way I do it. But basically, I use it for everything. A lot of people that carry a saw will tell you that they're good for just about everything as well. So it's light, it's aluminum, it's kind of chintzy. I have almost bent it a couple times. But that's what you get. I want it light and I want it small. So also in this side pocket, I have a random mangled up piece of toilet paper because, again, like everything or most of the things I carry, toilet paper is good for a myriad of things, especially the thing that it's most importantly and most often used for. Yeah, I think we'll find I got about 4 or 5 different places in all my different bags and gear where I carry random bits of toilet paper, because you can never have too much so long as it stays somewhat dry, and it's good for optics, good for certain parts of your body, and we all know why that is so nice. The last couple things I keep in the front of here is a lens cloth. I do also carry lens wipes in my main backpack, but this is nice, especially when it's hanging in my deer blind right in front of me. I can pull it right out, it's right in front of me, easy to grab, easy to use, wipe the rifle scope down, especially on those colder mornings when you're running the heater, when it's almost guaranteed that you will fog up your scope at some point. Let's get on with more. The very last thing that I keep in the Bino harness, and it's tethered in, is a good old-fashioned compass. Nothing fancy, but it works. And as much as we all use the Onyx and the mapping systems, it's always good to have one of these. I run a lot of big woods places. Not to say that I couldn't walk out of them, but it's just, peace of mind. No dollar sign on a peace of mind. So keep my lens wipe in there, compass, and that is attached to it's supposed to be the rangefinder tether, but I don't have a rangefinder yet because I honestly haven't had much use for one here in the very close range, deep woods. But that is also the tensioner for the lid of the Bino harness. So it's kind of a 2-in-1, but I always keep that in there, and I know it can't fall out because scouting one day, I actually left this pocket cracked, and as I went under a log, this actually fell out. Luckily, I noticed it not too far away, and I backtracked and I found it, but that is why it's now on the tether. So lesson learned there. Keep your compass where it will not fall out. And then I keep that outdoor edge in the front, and the saw is always on the side where I can peel it out one-handed if I'm up in a tree with the Lineman belt in hand. I think I got everything back in there. We'll put the binos in there and we'll get on to the backpack, but that's my chest rig. Other than that, the only thing that I would say pros with this is it carries everything I need. It's got enough storage. The cons is it is just a smidge bulky. When it's on my chest, it almost gets in the way with everything. They always say that if it's worn correctly, it won't get in the way, but I'm kind of a small framed guy, and even when these shoulder straps are tightened all the way, I just don't have that whole lot of real estate up front. So it hasn't been an issue yet, but going back, I probably would choose a little bit slimmer profile one. But of course, you'd probably lose the front pouch too. So that, we'll do archery season. This is actually just a fanny pack compartment from a larger backpack frame pack I got. But I use this to keep all of my tree gear in, minus a stand. I switched over to saddle hunting because I like to go to destination locations, and hauling stands through thick patches of red brush and tag alder swamps it's just not fun no matter how light they are. So it's kind of bulky. I usually actually marry this into my day pack, or if it's a really short location, I'll wear it actually as a fanny pack, but it's kind of bulky even for that. So in that, I have my Lineman's belt. So I think in my Menace review, I went over my Lineman's belt, basically just an 11 mil rope with a rope man 1 ascender on it. And I do have a carabiner end on it. These carabiners are not the lightest and not the quietest, but they're cheap and they're climbing rated. And then for my tree strap, I got this off Amazon, kind of cheaped out. It works decently. It's got a large enough loop to do a overhand knot around the tree and everything I need it to do. It's got a decent prusik on it. Again, I just put one of them steel carabiners on there. It's held up okay. I'd like to replace it with another more high quality rope and another rope man 1 ascender instead of the prusik, but that's in due time, maybe next year. My classic line. And then for my platform, this is new this year and I've been fairly happy with it. I've been running the Ring of Steps from, is it Saddle Hunter? Geez, I should probably know that. I got the sticker, but it's just their ratcheting. They're kind of right angle, 90 degree, hard polymer steps. They look really slippery, but I was actually kind of surprised they're not too bad. Again, the only negative with these is this giant steel ratcheting clip. Yes, if you do your part, you can operate it relatively quiet if you hold the tabs, but it does make it really solid, which I like, but it's kind of noisy. You know, you can do your part, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. I might switch that out to something, but it does secure this really, really well to the tree. What I like to do with these, instead of kind of the John Eberhart method where there's one perfectly symmetrically around, I kind of like to bunch them up, or I'll do 2 or 3 for my left foot and 2 or 3 for my right foot, so I can get kind of a decent, comfy purchase in either direction. But it also depends on the diameter of the tree, so that's what I stand on. And then you all maybe have seen my video. I reviewed the Menace before I used it. I've used it for 2 seasons now, not heavily. I just bought a new house. I've been real busy with that, so I only actually made it out bow hunting maybe 4 or 5 days. I got a lot more time in gun hunting, but for bow hunt I didn't get out much. This is the Menace, size medium. I'm like a 32, 31 inch waist, but I got the Menace because the Eberhart was sold out when I went to buy it. But I am up here in the eastern UP, you know, kind of latitude wise north of Maine. We are way up here and it gets real cold, so I wear a lot of layers sometimes, and it gives me a little bit of room. Other than that, I really don't have a whole lot of complaints about it. For me, the bridge is a smidge long, especially with the Prusik tree tether, so my Bino harness kind of gets in the way. It'd be nicer, I might get an H2 adjustable, which you guys suggested. I just haven't worked up the nerve to purchase one yet. Maybe next year, famous line. That's my entire tree system. So the Menace saddle, hunt from above saddle, hunter ring of steps with the ratchet, unfortunately, but it works good. It's secure, tree tether, and then Ropeman one ascender, Lineman's belts, all in this little thing. And then I usually just keep some random bits of paracord and possibly a roll of electrical tape in the front of this fanny where I carry it all. I'm backing you out just a little bit for my day pack. This is a Cabela's Elite Scout Pack, one of the first gens. I got this backpack when I was probably 12 to 14 years old. I've had this forever. It's been fishing, it's been hunting, it's been scouting, it does it all. And honestly, it's really hardly even showing any signs of wear. It's getting a little nappy on the bottom, but this has been a fantastic backpack for me. The only cons I have with it are it could hold a little bit more stuff. I think it was only I forget what cubic centimeter inch, but it's under 2,000, so it's definitely a smaller pack, but it's done well for me. It does expand in the middle quite a bit to store clothing and other stuff, but I got no complaints. It's held up incredibly over the test of time. You know, back when Cabela stuff used to be real nice. No dig on Cabela's, but all right, let's get into the middle of it. At the top here, I think this is a little bit different on the newer versions of this backpack. I'm not sure if they still make this today, but I know that there has been newer, more modern versions of it. But there's 2 basically elastic dump pouches right here. I carry just a little buck folder knife in there. I have skinned a deer with this before. It probably wouldn't do it again unless I sharpened it, but good to have when you need it. I carry a tube of super glue, which I don't actually think there's super glue in here anymore, but these also make a really good container for toothpicks or odd, small, short items like that. So I guess that's what's in there. There's still a little bit more in the side pouch. I think I carry a couple, we got some matches in there. I'm probably throw these out. I don't even know why those are in there. They never work, especially if they're a little bit damp. Some old Band-Aids that don't work. I'll probably replace those, so I'm taking those out. A little bit of Vaseline. Again, stuff of 1,000 uses. Chafing. Your lips are splitting. Your hands are splitting. Up here it gets dry and it gets cold. You never know what you need a little petroleum jelly for. Starting fires on a cotton ball or paper, toilet paper, Works really good too. That's everything in the left side. The right side, we have a somewhat sealed bottle of Tinks number 69. I do not recommend carrying this in your personal bags, especially without it being double sealed. I didn't even use this year. I don't have a whole lot of trust in this stuff. It's just kind of like a 4th and 20 last minute deal that I sometimes do. I actually killed a pretty large buck when I put some of this out, but I don't actually believe in it wholeheartedly. So I rarely use it. I probably shouldn't carry it in there because if it ever spilt, oh my God, it would ruin this bag. So questionable with that one. I might leave that out for now. What else in here? I also have a backup manual compass with a whistle and a thermometer, and I think there's a magnifying glass in here. I got this when I was really young. It's kind of kiddish. It probably has a few more things on it that I don't need, all this clanky tin pop metal stuff on here. But it's handy to have if you want to have to know the temperature, or you actually need a whistle. I've never used it before, but again, you know, I guess. And then a backup compass, always good to have. So that's what I got in that one. I am going to put that back in there. I am going to put the Vaseline back. My folding knife, if I can. Sometimes it takes a little bit of finagling in here to get this stuff back in here. I'll put the toothpicks in there. I like having gum or toothpicks. It keeps me awake somehow. I don't know, maybe I have a busy mouth. I like to keep it moving with a toothpick or eating something or gum or something. Then the front pouch. This is kind of a versatile pouch. It's small, but it's fairly deep. It's like 3 or 4 inches deep, and it works really good. I keep a variety of things in here. I sometimes keep a card reader in here. I am gonna switch over to the iPhone plug-in one where I can just save it directly to my phone. I used to have one for my Android, but I just haven't got one for my iPhone, so I just picked up a cheap viewer. Sometimes I keep extra hand warmers in here. I always have a pair of hand warmers with me. I usually try to save them so they last an entire day, a morning sit and a afternoon sit. Again, are they necessary? No, but man, do they feel awesome when your hands are warm. I also sometimes keep my snacks in there. Sometimes I keep my snacks in the big part. It just depends. Gum, I always keep gum in there. It's a little bit noisy, but like I said, I love having gum if I'm blind sitting or sitting in a stand because I get bored, and it at least keeps my mouth busy if anything else. No, I don't smack it or blow bubbles or click it, but I think it's nice to have. Again, some more chapstick, Vaseline type. Am I addicted to chapstick? Maybe, maybe not. So that's in there. Here's my rifle scope covers. I should probably keep that with my hunting rifle. But I usually keep these, again, if we're going into the blinds or going out on a hunt and it's just a wet blizzard or sometimes even pouring rain. I'll throw these on there just to, you know, try to keep as much off the lens as I can. Again, a roll of electrical tape. Always a good idea. This stuff works for everything. I love it. Some batteries that I swapped out of my headlamp. I usually keep fresh ones in there. I believe these ones are dead because I've already changed them. I have a 7mm casing from my gun blind that I cleaned out that I forgot was in there. I should probably take that out because that's going to be noisy. A spare thing of chapstick. I'm sure you all are noticing a pattern of the ridiculously large amount of chapstick and lip balms that I have, but hey, they come in handy. Again, what's left of a little bit of toilet paper reserve for, again, a million different uses. So that's quite a bit of stuff. Some of it necessary, some not. But I'll put the gum, the hand warmers, the chapstick, the tape back in there. Everything else I will probably put somewhere else. So for the main compartment, this one varies a lot by season and what I've actually got going on. The middle outside part, I'll usually put either some 1-pound propane tanks in here for my buddy heater. Sometimes my hunting jacket. This is a Cabela's wind shear Berber fleece. I love this jacket. It's big, it's bulky, it's somewhat heavy, but it keeps you warm no matter what. I love it. But I'll pack that up, roll that up in there, maybe a puffy jacket, stuff like that. There's a little pocket right here that just has a blaze, just a blazed, I guess, insert for packing out game. I've never actually used this, but I do like that it's in there. I don't think I have anything else in this front pouch. I do not. All right, let's go to the inside. Right on the top, there's a little zippered pouch. I believe I have some gloves. I haven't actually ever used gloves to skin out or remove the innards of an animal yet, but I guess I have the option. This is also where I keep a lot of my cards, SD cards for trail cams. I always like to run these little packages. No, they're not waterproof, but it keeps them organized and it keeps dust and dirt off of them. Keep a lot of them in there. You'll notice I got a lot of them. It's not that I have an overly large amount of trail cams, but I took the guys from Exodus's advice, and I always like to marry 2 SD cards to a camera. You just take one out, you put it back in when you go in, and vice versa. So there's always one in the camera and always one with you, and you just get less file corruption. For years, I had problems with these trail cams. I just couldn't get them to take pictures. The batteries were good. Couldn't figure out what was going on. Kept getting different ones, thinking I was going crazy. I went and got all new memory cards, 2 for each camera. And ever since I did that, they work phenomenal. So I think that was one of the best pieces of advice that I've gotten off of YouTube hunting gear ever from the Exodus guys. So if you're having issues with your camera, get new cards for it. Get the right ones for it. Again, toilet paper. Never have enough toilet paper. I got some paracord. I believe this is my bow rope. So I have that still from archery. And I got a water flavoring in here. Again, gun blind stuff to keep you busy. Here's my net Gator. It's just a real thin poly 1 nylon. It stinks like my spit. It's been around forever, but I still use it until I get another one. Where's those? That's about it for in there. And then the cool part about this bag is there's a little, even a deep pocket full length all the way behind these. I keep contractor bags in here. Again, I always like to carry stuff with many uses. You can bag game in these. I use these for a seat when I'm gun hunting, just still hunting out in the woods, and you don't want to get a bunch of snow all over your pants or get a wet butt. Just throw this over the log, over the snow. You can put stuff in it. It makes stuff slide really well on snow. You can put this over your backpack in an absolute torrential downpour, keep it dry. And then one of my favorite things to do when I'm in a gun blind, one of the best things about hunting in a gun blind is you get lots of free time. So I keep a hunting journal. I have the last 10 years of hunting conditions and happenings and deer sightings, interesting things, points of interest all in here. So I've only got about 1 more year of room left in here, but this will be about 10 years of compiled hunting information that I always love going back through, reading, adding to, and just reflecting on the years. So if you don't do this, I highly recommend this. I've heard from a lot of top-notch hunters, not to say that I am, but a lot of the big guys in the industry, or just overall good hunters, will keep in some manner of a journal, whether it's online, wherever, record weather. It's just cool to look back and see patterns. And again, back here, just a couple more hot hands. You can never have too many of them either. It's always such a good feeling when you think you forget your hand warmers, and then you're like, oh wait, I have a backup pair here, and I got a backup pair in here, and you're good. You're always saving your own butt. So that's about it for my backpack. We'll go over just a couple last few bits of gear. We did the backpack, we did the Bino harness. I went over my favorite hunting jacket thus far. I think I might have something coming for Christmas that is even better that I'll show you guys. But base layers, I always go merino. This is I believe this is a 200 or 250 weight merino. This was, again, back in the Cabela's collection. This was like a $120 merino, and I got this for, I want to say like $40 or $50 on sale. I absolutely love it. It's served me well for many years. I also have 3 or 4 layers of the 100 to 200 weight merino, some black, some camo, but this one is usually my always top layer of merino, and no matter how many layers I have underneath of it. After that, for my bow hanger, again, just a cheap plastic buckle over the tree. I wish I would have got the one with metal loops. I know they're a little noisier. I still wrap these in electrical tape. Again, electrical tape, good for silencing things as well. I put them in there. Something I use every now and then is a cable tie. These are good for, I usually use these for hanging my sticks onto my backpack. Works good. Again, kind of noisy, but if you do your part, it works. Pants, I'm running the Catalyst pants from First Light, the old school ones, not the bibs, the pants. I love these. These are my archery pair. They're not super duper warm or super duper durable, but they're decently in both those categories, and they're lightweight, and I like them. For late season pants, I've been using these for a long time. These are the old school Under Armour, I believe the Ayton pants and jacket collection. I think there was only pants and only a jacket. It was Ayton. It was a weird name, but they're basically just a fleece, Berber fleece on the inside, microfiber on the outside. Super quiet, not super breathable. If you break a sweat in these, your legs will feel like they're underwater from all the pooling sweat. But they're old. I know Under Armour has, maybe some good or bad reputations throughout the history of hunting, but this was back when they were relatively new, and these are holding up pretty good. The front pocket's just starting to de-seam a little bit. Other than that, they've performed well over the years. And then for backup rain gear, I use a Sitka Dakota hoodie. It's a duck hunting jacket. I've never actually been duck hunting. I really want to try that. It's about the only outdoor sport that I haven't tried, but I use this. It's a little noisy, but if it's pouring rain, that's probably the least of your worries. So I use that for super rainy days. And that's about it. One more thing I wanted to mention to you guys. Just kind of a hot tip for you. This isn't really anything about what I run or what I don't run, but it's kind of common practices that I'm going to adopt now. A lot of guys, say they let their cameras soak all year. They leave them through in the winter time. It's good to see predator movement throughout the winter. I totally agree with that. It would be totally awesome, and I have done that for the past 3 or 4 years. Now, the reason that I am not going to do that anymore is because I'm starting to find, now that I'm seeing a pattern with these cameras nowadays, the camera, I'm assuming, works really good for that. But what happens is, no matter what brand of battery you're running here, I haven't tried rechargeables, but I imagine they'll run into the same problem. I'm up here in the north, way up north, past the 45th parallel, what they call it, zone 4, zone 5. It gets cold up here and it stays cold. And I have had a lot of these batteries burst. They don't blow up and spray stuff, but they just seep a little bit of acid out of the posts and the terminals, and it corrodes the heck out of these springs, and I've ruined 2 trail cams now. This was my nice Bushnell HD. I've had 0 problems with this camera. It's been one of my favorite cameras, and then last year I let it soak all winter just in my backyard, but I realized that it stopped taking pictures in December, and I went to look in here, and it took me forever to get it to work. I had to clean all the battery terminals and the battery posts with vinegar. I mean, I tried it all, everything they say to do. I got it working decently, but it still has its issues now. It's got bugs now because it doesn't always make perfect contact with the batteries, and it's cost me some good pictures with good deer. And I just want to tell you guys that if you hunt really, really northern areas like me, I mean, I don't know if they have this issue in northern Maine or Wisconsin, Minnesota. You guys probably possibly have this issue. I can't be the only one. Don't leave your cameras out all winter. If you do, I don't know, use thermally protected batteries or a solar, I don't know, but I'm not doing it anymore because I'm sick of ruining cameras with battery acid leaking onto the contacts. So that's all I got for you guys today. I will get a video out of our 2021 firearm season. My brother-in-law got the nice one. I got one a little bit later in season just to fill the freezer, but that's been my best one out of my gun blind this year. Haven't figured out where I'm gonna put him in the new house yet, but that's my biggest buck to date. He's just like a 110 incher, but he's my best one. He's what keeps me going out in the woods every year, keeps me hyped up to get out there, because you never know when you're gonna get a big one. And once you do, you're absolutely hooked. So I hope you all had a great season. Give me your comments on what you guys use, if you use some of the same stuff, if you use some of the different stuff. Again, this is an ever-changing loadout. I'm always adding stuff, taking stuff out. But I'm sure that wasn't everything, but I usually carry a water bottle always, some snacks always, whether it's just a granola bar or whatever. But food and water is always good too. So hope to see you guys out in the woods, and I hope to see you up here in my north. See ya.